been trying to get my glow off, but it's still glowing.
William Mahan, we are live.
What's up?
And you are glowing today.
I don't know why. It's so weird. I'm just gonna glow today.
You know what? I like your glow. You look good with a glow.
I'm just gonna glow today. There's just a certain
Aura
aura
about you
on me.
today. There's something about you today. You're just glowing. I don't usually say that about my gentleman friends, but it usually comes with my lady friends. They're usually glowing, but
Crazy. It's
you're
crazy.
glowing.
We're just gonna glow today. We're
You're
just
just
gonna
gonna glow. You know what? I'll be honest. Audience, if you are watching right now, this is William Mahan, my coach, my mentor. I tell people the guy that changed my life, meeting him, falling off a scooter.
I remember that.
Oh my God, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But anyway,
What's
William
up?
Mahan, thank you for hanging out with me today.
I love it.
You are the one that talked me into this. And you've been telling me to get on it for like 2 years. In fact, we were at, where were we? We were downtown Oklahoma City eating lunch and we were just masterminding. And you're like, you got to get StreamYard. And I was like, what's that? And you've been telling me and you've been telling me and you've been telling me. And I finally jumped on and now I'm addicted.
Obsessed with it.
This is a new obsession.
Yeah.
Talking to people in the community is my new obsession.
It's fun.
Getting people's perspective on life, on business, on everything in the world is game changing to me. And you told me it would.
Yes.
And I've known you for 3 years now.
Built
And
for
it
it.
takes about 2 years for me every time you do tell me to do something. So that's gonna stop today. That's gonna stop today. When you tell me to do something, I'm gonna do it right then. Because you're always right.
Hey, listen, there was a Tony Robbins clip that Ryan Dunn posted. And in his post, he said, we need to stop negotiating with ourselves. And I hadn't seen the Tony Robbins clip before. So I said, elaborate. Like, tell me more. Like, tell me more about this post. And he posted the Tony Robbins clip. And Tony Robbins says, the thing we need to stop doing is negotiating with ourselves, with our mind, right? We negotiate with our mind, meaning like we say we're going to do something, and in our mind, we start negotiating with ourselves, right? Like, no, Tony Robbins says, if I say, I do. I say, I do, right? I don't negotiate with myself. I don't negotiate with my mind, right? So I think
that's exactly what happens. I think we make it too difficult.
Yes.
You say do something, or I tell somebody to do something, go do it. It works. And then all of a sudden we're overthinking. Okay, how do we make that perfect?
Mm-hmm.
We got to stop.
Negotiating with ourselves. I think that's what Tony Robbins was saying was his overthinking, what you're saying is what he's saying, negotiating with ourselves.
Yes.
We negotiate with ourselves in our mind, right? He says, when I say, I do. My body knows, my body and my mind and my soul are all in line. When I say, we do.
Okay, I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to quit negotiating with myself as of today, right now. You tell me to go do something, I'm going to go do it. And I'm going to put it on the air. You guys heard it, because every time William tells me to do something, it always ends up being the right thing. Yeah. Always. So what? Okay, so that gets back to our why. You and I and our crew, the Black Label producers, have been talking about whys a lot. Whys driving our business. Why do we negotiate with ourselves too much?
There you go.
I don't know. Why? Just like this morning, I was talking to April. I shared with our crew my 90-day plan. Mm-hmm. Okay. We were talking about sending out mailers. She said, well, I need to go get some fancy paper. I said, stop right there.
There you go.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Print it out on your paper. Well, I don't care what kind of paper you got. Yeah. I don't care if it's construction paper from your kids. Go put it in there. Print it out and mail it out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Quit thinking about it. But that's a prime example of we all do it. Mm-hmm. So why is it taking us so long to do what we need to do? I don't know. Is it discipline? Because I've been doing a little series on that. Discipline? Is it motivation? Is it I don't know? Because I really don't feel like that's an excuse anymore. I don't know. Because I can Google it and I can get on TikTok and Instagram. So I don't know how to do it really isn't an excuse anymore. What's our why? Why are we not doing it? What's our pain point?
I think discipline, right? I think discipline has a lot to do with it. And then time blocking, right? Because we have the time in the day.
We do.
We just don't, we're not disciplined enough to time block enough time to do it, right? We always think we're so busy. In reality, if you step back and think about it, we're really not, right? We like to say we're busy and we like to have a lot of things going on, but at the end of the day, we really don't, right? Everyone has the same amount of hours in the day. The top performers, the top 1% in the world. I mean, your Bill Gates, like the wealthiest Elon, like the CEOs, the wealthiest. That's one thing they always have in common. If you study those people, is they say we have the same amount of hours in the day. We just use it differently than you guys.
I think a big thing that I'm reading right now in The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, I'm going back to that. I'm going back to the basics. We all read it when we first started. Guess what? I'm going back today, or about 2 weeks ago, I started. Leverage. If we're leveraging and we're time blocking, those are two things immediately we can start doing to help with our discipline. So that's what I'm doing on my 90-day. I'm calling it a 90-day discipline plan. And I'm time blocking and leveraging. And so honestly, since I've written it out, like I've got those 90-day plans that Mike and Hamoudi gave us in our agent kickstart. I made 3 of them. I have 3 90-day goals that I'm going to do every single day. I'm on day 6 and I complete them, William, by 9 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, I have done, since I've written that out and I've been disciplined enough to do it, I'm done by 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, holy cow, I could do more. So let's 10X this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. But that's to where I'm at now, because 6 days in, where they say it takes like 7 days to get in a habit of doing things. I'm on day 6. Tomorrow, I'm ready to jumpstart that, like even more. So.
Consistency.
But you've been telling us to do that for a while. I'm sorry.
Success leaves clues.
Absolutely. So, listen, I do listen to you, and I do.
I know you do.
I listen to you, and it takes sometimes getting out of our comfort zone. And like you said, we're negotiating. We're our own worst enemies. I think a lot of us feel like we have to do things a perfect way. But I'm going to tell you, when I do something and it's not perfect, but it turns out really well, I'm fired up. Those endorphins are going, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do it again.
Absolutely.
How exciting is that? How empowering is that?
Well, here's what I tell people. Like a lot of people set big goals, and when you set big goals, sometimes they don't they're not accomplished as fast as we want. Everyone wants right now results, right? So when I teach goal setting, it's like set big goals, but then let's break down little goals to meet the big goal. Because guess what? What you just said, when you accomplish something, when you have a win, the endorphins start going, and it's exciting, right? And then you want to win again, right? So why don't we take those big goals and we chunk it down a little bit, and we just have a lot of wins? Like, let's win every day. Because if you win every day, then you're motivated to go win the next day, right? So let's break it all down. Let's have little small wins.
Small wins turn into big wins.
Yeah.
We're not hunting, we're farming. Athena Captain talks a lot about that. We're always hunting. We get worn out. We get burnt out. We're hunting. But if we're farming and quality over quantity, you always say, what we're doing today, 3 months ago, we'll be thanking ourselves.
Yep.
And so if we're setting and chunking those small little goals to small wins. Yeah, they're small wins. Man, they turn into big ones. And so we're really working on that. I think you and I have been aligned on just, ever since I feel like kind of the market shift, we've just had a whole new focus, and it's really kind of been good for both of us, I think, and all of us, all of our crew, really.
Everybody, right? The people that have been following the the training, the Zooms, everything that we're doing and coaching and teaching, and people who are actually plugged in and are actually involved, they're, you can see you can see the wins, like you can see the growth, you can see, them hitting their goals, and you can see the confidence. They're plugged in.
They are plugged in, and that makes such a difference. And I am just as guilty. I think I was hunting, and I got burnt out. Not burnt out by working with buyers and sellers, just in life. We all were hit with a trauma in 2020. We all went through it together. I forget who I was talking to the other day about this, and they said, yeah, the whole world went through it and none of us got counseling. We're just got through it together. We need like one giant counseling session. And I mean, it's funny to really kind of think of it that way. And then our market changed, and it was just everything. It was just wild.
Yeah.
And so for the first time, I think with our market shift and the world getting kind of back to normal, we have a minute to breathe and take in and really take an opportunity to learn who we are,
right,
and the direction that we want to go. And that's one thing that you have recently been talking to us about, is identifying ourselves, identifying our brand, identifying who we are, and how we want the world to perceive us. And, I'm thinking, I think I do a pretty good job of that. But sometimes as I'm reflecting back on some of my posts, I'm like, you know what I meant by that. Mm-hmm. They knew what I meant by that. That my friends know what I meant by that. But people that don't know me might not have perceived certain things a certain way. And so really working on that.
Yeah. I think it's super important to create an identity. And then once you create your identity and you know what that identity is creating a brand around that identity and getting that identity out to your avatar, right? Yeah. Getting that identity out to the people that you want to work with. Because just like you said, I mean, there's so in our business. Let's talk about real estate real quick. Just in our business alone, there's 6,000 or 7,000, 6 or 7,000 agents, that work, in our state. What separates one agent from the other agent, right?
Absolutely. And we've got to figure out who we want the world to know us as. And when I say figure this out, I think I kind of had this conversation yesterday. We know who we are. Our friends know who we are. Our family knows who we are. But how many people do we have following us on Facebook that really don't know us?
Mm-hmm.
They know that we sell real estate. Mm-hmm. They know we're pretty good at it. Mm-hmm. They know we're with a group of really great people. I think we do a good job of that, but do they know us? Like, do they really know us? Because a lot of times I think when we're posting, we're kind of posting with our friends and family in mind, mm-hmm. that do know us, but what about the people that don't? And how am I coming across to them if they really don't know me? And so I thought, just not bad, nothing bad, but I want the world to see who my friends see, who my business associates see, who my buyers and sellers see every day. I want to project that to everybody.
Yeah.
Not just you. You know me. You know me.
Right.
You're the first one to call me out, Right. And so I think just kind of figuring that out and just looking from somebody outside in, what are other people's perspectives, and what sometimes that might be good, sometimes it might not be.
If someone that didn't know you at all and they just saw you and then they looked you up on Facebook, or they Googled you on your website came up and your Facebook came up, everything came up, would they be able to identify you? Like would they be able to say, okay, this is Sarah and this is what she's about. This is Sarah. This is who she's about. This is, I don't know, Ryan, and this is who Ryan's about.
Right.
Would they be able to just identify it pretty quick? You
Right.
know, 99% of the people don't have that in their brand. That they're
Right.
not identifiable by something, right?
Mhm.
And they don't have a that one saying or slogan, that one little piece that really
Right.
identifies them to say, okay, I know her, now I know what she's about.
Mhm.
That's
Absolutely.
something that everyone has to work on. Even myself, you're working on, and I'm working on it. We're coaching and teaching it to our agents and our group, because I think it's that important right now.
It is. It's huge right now. And now that business isn't just here you go thrown at you right now.
Right.
We
Right.
do need to identify ourselves more. I think we're going to be working with more people that we don't know very soon compared
Yes.
to people that we do know. And I can say that most of my business in 21 and 22 were referral business
Yep.
because people do know me and trust me. People that know me worked with me. People that know me referred me to other people. But I need everybody to know that.
Right.
I need other agents across the country, even agents, referral agents across the country. Like you said, okay, what's the first place they're going to go? They're going to go to Facebook first, number one. Number two, they're going to go to the internet. Because they might not have a Facebook. Is our presence on YouTube? That's the kind of the next step. And so anyway, I've just had a lot of ahas lately. We've both been reading some really good stuff. We've been sharing a lot of that. We've been sharing that with some of our agents. I've been sharing it on here. What was I going to say? You've been getting coached again. You've gone back to that.
Mhm.
I was watching. Who was it? It wasn't Simon Sinek. It was Ed. Who?
Ed Milet.
Ed Milet, and he was talking about his coaches.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we think that the top of the top of the top of the food chain isn't getting coached.
Yeah.
They're getting coached.
100%.
Life coach, business coach, everything coach. Unfortunately, with us, we've got some pretty darn good coaches that we have immediate access to.
Mhm.
But I think for continuous growth, everything's different than what it was 2 years ago.
Tony Robbins has a coach.
Huh?
Tony Robbins has a coach.
Well, that's what I mean. Absolutely. We all have to stay on our toes. Oh, look. Let's see. John Mayhew says 2 rock stars right here. John, we love you. Hey, honey. April says we have the best. We've got the best coaches. We do. We're so fortunate. And God, this year on my 90-day plan, I am being disciplined to be on those Zoom calls every Monday, every Tuesday, being involved on our state meetings and our broker courses. Our brokers provide so much training. It's outrageous. We are not plugged into that, every single one of us, because there's always something to learn. There's just
Always.
so much value. There's so much value. And anyway,
I was on a podcast and they asked me a question. They said, why should people why should people follow you? Why should people, join your organization? Like, what value do you bring to your agents? And of course I could have talked for an hour on this topic. But my very first thought was, I am getting coached and mentored by the best of the best, right? I'm getting so much value poured into me by my coaches and mentors. And what I do is I take a lot of notes. I take it all in, and then I turn around and I regurgitate it back to my group, right? Like, everything that gets poured into me, people that are better than me and that are where I want to be, I turn around and I pour it right back into you guys. I pour it right back to our agents, right? Like, all the Monday meetings and everything that I do is stuff that's getting poured into me. And I don't just keep it and say, oh, I'm just going to retain it for myself. No, I turn around and I pour it back into you guys, right? And so all of our groupers is getting all the value that I'm getting from the people that I'm that I'm working for. And
absolutely,
it's
great. My most successful year, the year that my life did change financially, even growth as a person, was the year that I plugged in
Mm-hmm.
to everything. I was going to Oklahoma City. Not that everybody has to go to Oklahoma City every week, but I was driving to Oklahoma City every week, every other week. I mean, a lot. You were coming here. I was going there. You got a lot. The Zoom meetings every week. I mean, it totally and completely plugged in. I went to Vegas, I went to everything, and again, life gets in the way, we get unmotivated. Well,
Right.
that's a cop out. I'm not using that word anymore. But when I was at my best, my very, very best, I was plugged in 100%.
Yep.
100%. And I'm back, baby. I'm back.
No, for sure. And not only are you back plugged in, you're back adding value, so you're not even plugged in for yourself, but you're turning around and adding value back into not just your group, but just your audience, right? And that's key.
That was an aha for me when I was doing that report that you asked, some of those exercises that you asked me to do about identifying myself. And I really thought that I had changed as a person in the last couple of years. I really did. I was almost bitter, William. I was almost negative and bitter. And I really thought, in fact, I'm sure I told multiple people I'm a different person than I was 2 years ago.
Mhm.
But you know what? After you made me dig deep, after you made me stop and take hours to figure out, do this questionnaire type thing, and really, I'm the same person. I want to teach. I want to help,
Mhm.
just like you, just like everybody else in our organization. Those things are still my core values in the core of Sarah. And that's when I got excited because I'm not that negative Nancy that I thought that I had turned into. It is still there. And my whys, the people that drive me, the people that motivate me to go every single day are still the same. In fact, I'm going to be interviewing one of my former students next week, and I'm excited for everybody to meet her. She's
Nice.
phenomenal. Yep. Her name's Cameron. But anyway, I want you guys. I realized that she was a huge piece and a huge role in my life, in my decision making, and I hadn't even realized it until I really broke that down. And so I told her, I said, I need you to come on here because I need the world to see who you are, because you are part of my drive, and my parents obviously, but it was really exciting. And community, kids, education, it's still in my soul. It's still in my soul. And the best way to do that is to have a microphone and a camera and share the wealth, my friend. Share the wealth, because it's who you are. It's a big piece of who you are. And I think that's also why we all connect. Everybody that's in our group, Black Label Producers, we all have that commonality.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it goes back to the whys, and there's so many different, there's two separate whys, right? But the very first why is finding why you want to be in the industry you're in, and not just real estate, but right in real estate. Like, you were a teacher and then you got into real estate. Okay, you got in real estate, but why did you get in real estate? Right? Some people say just because of the money. Like I want to make unlimited income, and that's the only reason I'm in it. Okay, great, right? Some people get in it because they want to, have an impact in their community, and they feel like being in real estate, could have an impact in their community. Some people want to get in real estate because they want to not only generate the income that real estate allows you to do, but also they want to change their community. And oh, by the way, they also want to pour in other people, and they want to educate and help other people grow, right? And so there's so many different reasons, and all three reasons can be combined into one. People could have separate reasons, and that's okay, but the people like yourself, like, you're getting into it because you want to have an impact. You're a teacher at heart, and so now you want to get into it, and you've been into it where long enough to where you've got a lot of mentoring and coaching and training. Now you want to turn around and give back to.
I just want to share it.
Share it, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You couldn't share it day one, right? Because you didn't know enough to share it day one, right?
I don't know what. Yeah.
You put the time in, and now you're sharing it. There was a saying in one of those Ed Milet podcasts, and it stuck with me. this whole time, and I share it to everyone because it's such a powerful statement. To me, it was, and it says, you are the most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were, right? And I say that a lot now because it has such an impact. Because you have gone through people have gone through obstacles, and they've gone through the failures, and they've gone through the troubles and tribulations, and they've overcome all that. The people who have overcome all that, right?
Yeah.
Now they can go back and serve their community and serve the people that were in a spot that they once were, and said, hey, listen, I'm going to guide you down this path because I've been down this path.
Mm-hmm.
And this path is, I mean, there's a lot of hurdles, and there's a lot of struggles, and there's a lot of ups and downs.
Sure.
Now, this path, there's still a lot of work that is involved in. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's just a better path because I can help you down this path.
Right.
Not have to go through what I went through, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's still a lot of work. You still got to get up there every single morning. You still got to be self-motivated. You still got to put the time in. But I'm going to help you down this path because I've already been through down this path, and it's not. I already know not to go down here. Let's go down here. All you got to do is just wake up every single morning with the motivation, put the time in. I can help you throughout the rest, right? That's one thing that we can't coach these. You can get on this show that you've created, which is amazing, and you can preach the gospel on all this stuff and add so much value to people. What you can't do is you can't get someone out of bed every single morning.
That's right.
You can't have coach or teach or talk in work ethic. You got to have work ethic. You got to have that grit, right? You got to have that. I'm going to get up every single day. If you have that, all the other stuff we can help with.
Absolutely. 100%.
You can't coach work ethic and determination and a want to. You can't. You just got to have it.
That's exactly right. The first time I came to Oklahoma City, this was before I joined you guys. I met you guys at do what they won't. That's right, Robin. Rob said, do what they won't. Hashtag door knocking. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mike Tyson said, what did he say? It was a reel that I watched the other day where he said, have the discipline to do what you hate like you love it. Because those are the best people are doing that. Like do what you hate like you love it. And so in the mornings, since I've said that, I'm like, I love paperwork. I love stamping envelopes. Yeah. But it's here. It's here though. And it's here. But anyway, Rob, yes, you're absolutely right. But so before I joined you guys, I was going to Oklahoma City to Cafe 7 at the Lunch and Learns at the time. And you were teaching a class over prospecting. I was like, what? Yeah. And I couldn't wait to come back and tell everybody. Like I was so excited that I just had to tell somebody. And that was exciting. Like, I love that. And then when I finally moved over and I was in the EXP world, I had an RPR training of all things. I couldn't wait. So I think I called Lori. I was like, Lori, get over here now. Look what I just learned. And so we put it up on the screen and I showed her, and it was just so exciting. But you got to get that. You've got to be excited about learning. You've got to be excited about doing. And I think you're right, William. Getting back to those small goals, small wins, that gets those endorphins going, that gets that excitement going, that gets that motivation, but discipline. And once you start seeing those, it's life-changing. It's life-changing. How can we not all be a part of that? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I share a quick story. One of our agents, she's brand new, but I put her in front of a database or CRM. We have a bunch of leads to say, listen, just start making some calls, and here's what you need to say. And she was really hesitant. Tiffany Trimble sat down with her. We're in the office with her. I sat down with her and made some calls with her. And she's like, oh, this isn't that bad. Very next day, very next day, she said, just tell me what I need to do. Sit down between 9 and 11, make these calls, say, like, here's the script. I just want you to talk to him, be normal, blah, blah. Anyway, she made 28 calls.
Mm-hmm.
She made 28 calls. She had 5 contacts, 2 conversions, and sent 1 to a lender.
That's
right?
awesome. Mm-hmm.
She was like, I can do this every single day.
Yeah.
I was like, that's all you have to do. Because if you sat down for 5 days a week and you did the same exact results,
Mm-hmm.
and you made 28 calls or 30 calls, and you had 5 conversations, you converted 2 and sent 1 to a lender. That means you sent 5 people per week to a lender.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say you convert 10% of that,
Mm-hmm.
1 a week. Lender gets one out of 5 qualified. That's 4 transactions a month. That's 48 or 50 deals a year.
Absolutely. I know.
And she was like, it's like it was too easy to have those conversations. It was just, like that seems too easy. I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, it is essentially that easy, but people make it so hard.
Yeah.
30 calls, 5 conversations, converted to 1 to a lender.
Again, we start negotiating with ourselves.
Negotiating with ourselves.
We're negotiating with ourselves and we're making it harder. And I am bad. Let me tell you what I'm bad at. And I'm getting better because I'm a self-reflector.
Yeah.
But what I'm bad at is somebody tells me to do something and I immediately go to that time that somebody did that to me and I didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guess what? They did it wrong. They didn't do it right. So
Right.
why am I judging that strategy by what somebody did a really shitty way?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with door knocking. You know, it's weird. Do not come knock on my door and say, can I have your business? Now, that might be a strategy some people use. I'm not going to do that. It weirds me out. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to door knock. And I'm going to ask for some donations.
Yeah.
For a food bank. Because guess what? Our community and our Lawton Food Bank needs that. And I'm going to, we need it. We need it. Our community needs it.
Door knocking for a purpose.
Door knocking for a purpose. And it's to serve and it's to build relationships. So again, I've got to get that out of my head or we all do.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be bad. We don't have to be salesy, awkward, sluggy type. Mm-hmm. We can take care of people and still earn people's trust and get people's business. Mm-hmm. That's ultimately the goal for a longevity. That's not the word. Quality long-term business.
Yeah.
One of the people in Lawton, Oklahoma, Johnny Owens, commercial real estate. I have probably more respect for him than most people in my life because of what he has given back to his community. Mm. Everybody loves him. Yeah, we know he's in real estate, but number one, the first thing most people think of when they hear his name is they want to give him a hug and they think he's the kindest man in the whole world.
Right.
That's the legacy that I want. That's the legacy. Good human 1, great real estate realtor number 2. And that is what I have recently identified, more so identified. We've got some great agents. And if you say a lot of their names in town, the first thing you say is realtor. Great. That's great. They deserve that title. That's the first thing I think of. But I love that when we say Johnny Owens, the first thing somebody says is great human, great commercial realtor, not realtor agent. Are they realtors? They're not realtors. Commercial real estate agent.
They're still realtors.
Yeah, I don't know how that goes. So
listen, 100%. One of my mentors. She's she's my upline, my immediate sponsor. She won Humanitarian of the Year award with EXP.
Love it.
I mean, how many agents do we have? 85,000.
Yeah, 85,000.
Person of the year, right there. I mean, yeah, she gives back. She does an amazing job at that. So when you think of Michael Marwat, like you don't think of realtor or real estate, you think of giving back, absolutely. Adding value.
Yes.
Changing lives.
She has. She has.
You know,
She's done a good job. I'm going to tell you though, William, what she's done a good job at, what I've attempted but not executed. And again, I do think that there are reasons. I'm going to give myself a few excuses, but systems. She is great at leveraging and she's great at systemizing and helping others. And that's what you and I think that and you're really good at, and you're evolving faster than I am, but those systems to help, she's done it all for us. What do we need? She's done it. You've done it. We've got it. Why are we reinventing the wheel? I don't know. Because we want to make it personal for our people. I think that has a lot to do with it, but
I think we need to self-reflect sometimes, like, especially in our group, right? It's like, okay, some people are like, well, I'm not hitting my goals. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that, but let's self-reflect. Take a second. Have you truly plugged into all of the resources that are readily available to you? Readily available to you. Have you truly plugged in?
Right.
Let's be honest.
What is that?
Most of us haven't.
Mm-mm. No.
Most of us haven't. We asked our, like, when's the last time you actually been on EXP World and been to a actual live class? That's someone, which is an icon agent that sells real estate at a high level, is coaching or teaching with your notebook out.
Right.
No. Our Monday Zooms, tons of value. Who's, the same people are plugged in, but the same people that are plugged in are the same people that are showing the results.
Absolutely. April O'Corey, she's probably listening right now. That girl, let me tell you.
She doesn't miss a Monday Zoom.
She doesn't miss it. And she's sharing with everybody. And she's telling everybody. And she's keeping us all in line. And I love it. Yeah. And we need more April O'Corys in our life. Yeah. We've got a lot of really special people. And it takes plugging in. And there's so many of us now. And that's something that I've had to self-reflect on. There's so many, how do we take care of each other? But if we're all plugged in together, it's natural. And that's something that I've had to reflect on myself. If we're all out there doing these things together, we're plugged in.
Yeah.
We have a community.
Yeah. And if you don't find one, right? If you're someone out there that's like, well, I wish I had someone to plug in too. Well, go find it, right? Because I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what industry you're in. There is a community out there in that industry that are plugged in together, that are growing and networking
100%.
and learning
and growing.
I don't care what industry it is. There is a network of people, whether it's banking, whether it's cars, whether it's whatever. There's a community out there for you to plug into. You just got to go find it.
When I was a school teacher, Twitter was the thing, Twitter for education. And Kevin Heim, our superintendent here, I think it was Kevin that started hashtag OklaEd. And every Sunday, like clockwork, I was in that chat on Twitter every Sunday for years, plugged in with teachers across the country. Not across the country, across the state. We would go to conferences together. We would teach at conferences together. We would collaborate together. We would go tour each other's schools. There's a community. We're fortunate enough to have a really great one. We're growing, but all the more reason to make connections with other people in our community. There's just so much, and it's pretty special. Stacy Jones says, intentional and deliberate actions. That's 100%. 100%. 100%.
I love it. I love
it too. William, we got a lot of cool stuff going on right now.
No, we do. And we're growing, we're growing, but I think we're growing because we're adding so much value out there that people, are just naturally attracted to value add anything. Right?
I think so too. And I think we're going to have to get back to those basics again. And those things, those resources, that knowledge base that you've got, that I've learned, a lot of us have, we're going to have to get back to that And people they're gonna need that from us, from you, from us, from, and so those resources are gonna play a huge role. Micah's Agent Kickstart.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge. I've been doing that every single morning. I'm back to that. They're 3-minute videos, William. 4-minute videos. Why is every single one of us not done that? I mean, you and I have. We did a whole series over it. But
right.
Why can we not wake up in the morning and the first thing listen to a 3 or 4-minute video to get us in the right mindset for the day?
Mm-hmm. Because we think we're too busy.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm. I can read a paragraph. I read a paragraph just the other day and I had an aha moment in one little paragraph. Well, it was probably like 5 paragraphs, but still like a page. I was like, oh, wow.
Wow. If people really got discipline on time blocking, you would realize how much time you actually have in a day.
Oh, yeah.
How much
Since I've really dedicated my time. Mm-hmm. But you've been telling us for years.
You can time block golf 3 days a week if you wanted to. If you really did just put a time block, you could golf 3 days a week and still have plenty of time to get everything you need to do.
Absolutely.
100% you could.
You told us years ago that you time blocked your time with your family.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's on my calendar. I have been doing better at that. So, and in fact, I'll show that to you right now. I don't know if some of you know how this works. Can you see my phone?
Mm-hmm.
You put that little, the little car.
Yeah.
If you click that, it turns your little moon on, but it'll automatically put a message. And I put it on there. If it's the weekend and I'm fixing to go out on a boat, hey, I'm on a boat. I'll call you back. I'm on a boat.
I love it.
I'm at the craps table. I'll call you back.
Yeah.
But it's not because I'm ignoring you and I don't want to do business. But right now, I can't do business at this exact moment because, number one, I'm not going to have all of me into what you're saying at this exact moment. Mm-hmm. So when you have my undivided attention, I will call you back because quality conversations is more important than anything. Yeah. That's part of that. And instead of, oh my God, I got to take this right now, and then panicking and figuring out where I'm at and no, it's okay. So I put an automatic, if the phone rings or a text message. If I'm having dinner with my family, I'm having dinner with my family. If I'm in a meeting or training, I'm in a meeting or training. But
I love it.
That helps. It helps. Because when you are talking to me, I want to make sure that I'm taking everything that you say to me in.
It's being a professional. And that's 100% okay to be able to
Absolutely.
do that and be able to designate times that you are 100% available and the times that you're not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm available most of the time.
Sure.
Only if we're doing something like this, I'm showing a house or I'm writing a contract. And that's another thing too I've started doing. If I'm writing a contract, I'm turning it off because I need my head totally into that contract. And I don't need a phone call.
You're turning your phone off?
Mm-hmm. When I'm writing a contract. Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many times agents miss things on contracts because they're not focused?
Absolutely.
I still do it now.
Mm-hmm. I missed one thing one time, and it was a costly mistake on my part. Mm-hmm. I made it up. It was my fault. But I remember talking to the agent and being in a hurry and forgot to send her an addendum. Mm-hmm. And I got all the way to that closing table. I said, "Where's the money?" She said, "What money?" I said, closing costs? Nope. It was on an addendum that I didn't send. And I remembered what I was doing at that exact moment when I was doing that. That was the costly and last mistake I ever made. Like that, knock on wood. I'm human. We're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But when it comes to those contracts, You don't have time for that.
No. No. I mean, I make an itemized list and make sure
Oh,
that
yeah. Mm-hmm.
checking everything off. Okay.
Absolutely.
You're right. I mean, these are our clients and they hire us for a reason.
Sure.
We're the
Absolutely.
licensed professional. They hire us for a reason.
That's right.
So we got to make sure that we're on our game. And you're right. Distractions are the number one thing that gets us off of that. Distractions.
Absolutely. Distractions. Yep. So
Yeah.
we got to be disciplined, baby. Disciplined.
Discipline.
Disciplined. Disciplined.
Discipline. Discipline. Time block.
Time block.
Two big buzzwords, right? Be disciplined.
Huge.
Time block.
Intentional.
Intentional. You know, proactive is another.
Oh, active.
Proactive.
Proactive. That is one of the big keywords for me. And when I did my little me chart, my little me web, I like being proactive. I strive to be proactive as best as we can. We're humans, but we try to be problem solvers and we try to look ahead. We learn from every transaction. We learn from other people's transactions. That's one thing I love about our classes with Kathy and April on Mondays and Tuesdays. Boy, do I learn a lot of lessons from other agents across Oklahoma.
How many agents do you think actually attend those though?
Not as many as should. Now, I'll tell you, there were 3 of us or 4 of us in Lawton that were on there the other day, which was pretty exciting because we were able to share some of our, we were able to share some of our experiences that other people were kind of seeing pre-COVID. And so that was exciting, but not enough.
Right.
Everybody should. You and Tiffany have had experiences that I've learned from.
Yeah.
And I'm able to tell our newer agents, hey, if it says this, you better make sure that's what that means because it could mean this too. And if it means this, then we got a problem and we need to there's a well. There's a few wells out there. There's a water well and an oil well.
Oil well, water well. What does that well actually mean on there?
What is that? Yeah. So, and anyway, yeah, get that survey. We got another deal going on right now. I said, get that survey. Get that survey.
Mm-hmm.
Don't skip that survey. Get that survey.
For sure.
But anyway, William, this is great.
Yeah. That goes back to that. Remember that you go down this path. I've already been down all this.
Mm-hmm.
I've already had all these trials and tribulations and the struggles that I've overcome. Mm-hmm. Help you go this way.
Absolutely.
But the people who are plugged in get that. The people who aren't.
There are tiny little words on a contract that are big words to an attorney.
Yes.
A the, or an or an and.
Yes.
Can change everything.
Yes.
Everything. And those are things that I have learned going. Now, I'm not great at it. This is my 90-day plan. But when I have gone, those were some aha moments for me. I said, that's kind of scary to realize that one little word changes a lot of things. Could potentially. So you got to know it. I mean, I feel like we know it inside out, but something comes along and you're like, wait a minute, that's a little different. Might mean something else. In the eyes of the beholder.
Yep.
And the beholder is that attorney.
That's it. That's it.
In the court of law.
That's it.
I don't want to mess with that. No. I have a good one though. I have a good attorney, Austin Raybon. I call him. He helps us out. He's our guy. Especially when we're dealing with land, I'm like, let me call him real fast. Let me make sure this is okay.
I was talking to Rob McCullough, and we were talking about something, and continuing education got brought up, and I was like, people in our industry, they just fight the continuing ed, right? They find every way to get away from it, and they barely read anything. They just do what they need to do to get by. I said, could you imagine doctor was still practicing medicine from the 1990s.
Absolutely.
Even the early 2000s, like it's called modern medicine because it has modernized. Imagine if doctors did not have continuing education or they didn't take it seriously
Right.
and they just did what they did just to get by, and they never proved the new and best ways to do things. Imagine a doctor saying, "Oh, I'm getting ready to cut you open. And
Yeah.
I'm practicing from 1989."
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
and I've never been to a continuation class, and I'm still practicing on things that were happening back then. You're like, "Oh, what is
We're in a different world than we were 2 years ago. And Stephen and I were having that conversation the other
every
day.
industry?"
I was one of the first people, and I think the first person in Lawton to have one of those virtual tour cameras. That thing was this big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. COVID hit. Guess what?
Yeah.
This thing, I don't even know if they make them anymore. They might. I don't know. But I'm told them the other day,
3D things.
you know, these things now. Like, but this 2 years old, William. In 2 years, things have changed. Look at it. Look at what we're doing now. This is how we're putting information out there now. We're doing this. This is how we put information out. We've been talking for 51 minutes. And, you know, April and I were talking about, Stacy says, diminishes the credibility of the industry if you're not doing CE classes. Amen to
100%.
Absolutely. 100%.
100%.
Diminishes the credibility of the industry if we're not doing the CE. Yeah. April and I talked about that too the other day. Or maybe it was Amber the other day. We were just talking about how, you know, we're trying to change the narrative. I think EXP has changed the narrative. We've changed. We really have. We have changed the narrative in the industry as a whole. We're doing things differently. We're more of a community. And we're not just a community with our own community. We're extending that outside of our company. We're doing a pretty darn good job of that. And so we are trying to, but if you're not going to CE classes, if you're not trying to know shit, excuse me, those of you watching, if you don't take the time to know the new stuff, you're not doing a service to your sellers and your buyers. That's for sure.
No, not at all.
And sometimes if we're afraid to ask, that can be even worse. That's what I tell people. I don't know everything, but I know the experts. I know Rob. I know John. I know Amber. I know these people for a reason because I know I can call them and get answers because it's ever changing every day.
Every day.
It's their job to know those things. I don't know. You're right. You're right, Stacy. That's very true.
Rob McCall is having a VA class next week on, what is it, the 10th? Let's see. Rob is the 10th. He's got a VA underwriter, one of the best in the country coming. Right? It's everything VA. Why everyone is not attending that class, I have no idea. Right? It's 3 hours of CE credits. And all the content is VA underwriting.
Yeah.
It's everything, right? If you're packed with that knowledge and you come across a VA buyer, now you're able to add so much value to that buyer and educate that buyer. And oh, by the way, you're going to be able to educate the other agent that's scared to accept your offer. And you're going to be able to add value to them, explaining why this VA buyer is the best option for their seller because the VA loan, blah, blah, like everything, right? You got VA underwriters there, all the value in the world. I don't know why everybody's not attending. Right?
Lawton
there should be 500 agents there.
Lawton is a walking testimonial to Rob's VA class on multiple occasions
There you go.
when it came to appraisals, and we had just learned it, and the other agents didn't have a clue.
There you go.
Had no clue. I said, we got this. We're good. This is it. And sure enough, 100. I say that a lot. I've said that a lot today, 100%.
100%.
But you know what? That's the passion. And it's true. I'll be there. I'll be late. But it is. Rob did that here in Lawton, and it was phenom. So much information, so much value for our buyers and our sellers. That's what people don't understand a lot of times is what affects our buyers is affecting our sellers.
Mm-hmm.
Sellers, you want a good buyer's agent on the other side. Buyers, you want a good listing agent on the other side. That is so important. So important.
Right. Right.
So if we're all doing what we need to do and we're all going to Rob's class and learning about VA and taking care of our veterans, ultimately, if there's any other reason, that's a pretty good reason.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I just got a VA buyer under contract yesterday.
Mm-hmm. We've got to take care of them. And if we don't know how to do that the right way, I don't want to be the cause of them not being able to get in a house.
Right.
I don't want to be that. So we're all working to be better. I'm not perfect. I've got a long way to go. But we have a lot of work to do. And we're going to continue doing better and better and better and sharing and growing and being plugged in.
Sharing. Yeah, being plugged in. That I can't say that enough. I can't say it enough. It starts with just showing up. Right?
That's right. That's right. It does. Every time. Nobody knows it all. I'm over that.
Show up.
Show up. Yeah. Nobody knows everything. You don't know everything.
No, I don't know everything. That's why I have a coach and a mentor and all these people plugging into me because I don't know everything. And the things that I knew 5 years ago are not even relevant anymore.
If you're not coachable, you're not growing. You're not going to move up. You're gonna plateau. You're gonna do fine. You're probably gonna do fine. You're gonna be right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not gonna go this way and that way.
Yeah.
You're gonna go plateau out.
That report I sent to everybody. I don't know. I probably sent to 15 people. How many people think did it?
I did it.
Yeah, one.
April's working on it. I do know that. In fact, April and I have talked about it. Oh, Coach V said that. Yeah. Oh, Coach V said that. He said, Stacey Jones said Coach V said that to finish it too. Yeah. Yep. Nope. Thanks for coming on, friend.
Absolutely. This was fun.
It's so fun.
Minutes, and I feel like we just got on here.
I know. It is so fun. We've averaging about an hour. That's what April said the other day. She's like, we talked for an hour. I said, here's the deal. They're not watching the whole hour probably, but people are popping in and they're getting a little bit of here and there.
Yeah. And then go back and watch it.
Absolutely. It's going to be on YouTube.
There you go. I say you need to throw them all on YouTube channel.
Absolutely. They're all on there. It's going live on YouTube right now too.
Cool.
I love the StreamYard. Okay, you guys, I'm paying $25 a month for StreamYard. There's like a $35 deal I might upgrade next month. I don't know. I just kind of want to jump in and play with it. So I love it. It's fun. It's so user-friendly. It goes to everything that I want it to go to. So if I've got it, it goes to it. So
yeah. And you can see all the comments inside the.
I know. This is fun watching the comment. It's just so much easier. So, all right.
Cool.
Thanks. Hi.
Enjoy your show.
Bye.
See ya.